Many of us were listening to the politicians yesterday as the Minister of Finance delivered the budget for the next financial year. And I don't know, did you hear anything that would ease you of the pressure that you are in fact experiencing? Or did you not hear that? I wonder. I'm going to talk some more about that later, but right now, good morning and welcome. It's time for another feature on our itinerary or agenda, and that is WTF. What the facts?
All right, Veronica Campbell Brown, VCB, is the only Caribbean woman to win world titles at the youth, junior, and senior levels of an athletic event. One of the most successful sprinters in history, she has been a force since her high school days. She is the only Caribbean woman to win world titles at the youth, junior, and senior level of an athletic event, one of only 9 athletes in the world, to be exact. With the exception of the Commonwealth Games, she has won multiple gold medals at all other international competitions. Mm-hmm. Big up VCB.
Big up to her. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. She has served us well. Mm-hmm. And that makes her one of only 9 women in the world.
9 athletes, actually.
Yeah, exactly. And and also the only Caribbean woman to win world titles at youth, junior, and senior level. That's big.
What
big
an achievement.
Yep.
Big up.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And we say congratulations to her. These days, she's not on the track. She's building her family.
Yeah, she's chilling right now.
Doing well. Yeah, man. Big up yourself, VCB. Mm-hmm. All right, it's 26 minutes now past the hour of 6 o'clock. There she is on the screen. Sean, where you find VCB so early? Oh, all right. No worries. I'm looking good.
Yes, right.
Yeah, man. She had a certain way of attacking the especially the 100 meter. Well, any race that she was in, that's
I remember.
If you know her, I mean, the 200 corner.
Yes.
When you see VCB come around that corner,
she flies around.
Them they need her.
Yeah.
When them they need her, take the truck, man. Faster, man. Remember from our Veer days. Fuck.
Yeah,
man.
It's a distinctive character that she has. The knees.
Yep.
Yeah, no, man.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
Quick. Yeah, but they need them.
It doesn't affect.
Yeah, they need a quick.
They ain't knocking.
Nah.
When she's sprinting, when she's stepping. All right, VCB, have a good day today on International Women's Day. We salute you. Yeah, give them an update.
All right. Well, we know this guy is very talented when it comes to being on screen and even in court. I'm talking about Johnny Depp, and he has sold a portrait painting of Bob Marley. Yeah, this Bob Marley, and it was sold for thousands of dollars. Yeah, man. So Johnny Depp has parted ways with several handcrafted paintings of some of the world's biggest celebrities, including Bob Marley, Heath Ledger, and many others. The talented actor reportedly painted the silk screen prince, which recently went on sale. United Kingdom art retailer Castle Fine Art announced the sale of the pieces, dubbed Johnny Depp's Friends and Heroes Part 2. And it's a fantastic collection. The portraits included reggae legend and icon Bob Marley, late actor Heath Ledger, River Phoenix, and Hunter S. Thompson. The art retailer wrote, "The collection is a unique insight into the world of Hollywood from one of its biggest stars." The Bob Marley painting featured an uncanny likeness to the real looks of the redemption artist, and also appeared to have personal touches on his theme, including words of resistance and lyrics from some of his most popular songs, including the track War. So the paintings were originally on sale for £17,500 or US dollars $21,000. For all 4 pieces as a package. Individual pieces were on sale for $5,400 each, but within a few hours of the listing, all 780 prints sold out, and the paintings were snapped up within hours of it being announced. So that's Johnny Depp for you.
Got some talents that we didn't even know about.
Yeah, I never know that. I know him rate about Marley. Big time. Rate that, you know.
We remember when he was going to court.
Yeah, man, a run. Exodus.
I think so.
Yeah, it was Exodus. Yeah, man. So big up.
Yeah, and fetched some good prices too.
Yeah, man.
I think you carried the prices.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
so
17,000.
Yeah, so as for all 4 pieces as a package, US $21,000. Right. And individual pieces were like for $5,000, over $5,000.
Decent money.
US dollars. So, oh yeah.
All right. We have a story here on a gentleman that came to Jamaica and rocked the National Stadium in front of maybe 18 or 19,000 people. The African Burna Boy, who we're talking about. Now, he's gone in the record books with his Love Damini album, which has now surpassed 600 million streams on Spotify.
Wow.
It is dominating Spotify right now. Afrobeats artist. He has earned a new milestone as his latest album, Love Damini, achieves more than 600 million Spotify streams and is now the fastest album from an African artist to achieve the feat, chart data has reported. Burna Boy has been steadily growing in the music fraternity and now has some 4.8 million monthly listeners on Spotify alone.
Wow.
His African giant previously held the record for the most streams for an African album on Spotify with 500 million streams. That was back in April of 2022. The album and Burna Boy were the first to achieve such milestones. So the biggest song from Love Damini is Last Last, which became entitled to US Platinum certification, which is over 1 million copies sold. And that happened last month, so he's definitely on a roll. The single has sold over 1 million units in the US alone, making the track eligible for platinum certification. The album itself, Love Damini, was nominated for Best Global Music Album at this year's Grammy Awards, but lost out on that award. And the Grammy loss also appeared to be celebrated by Diddy, who reportedly threw jabs at Burna Boy, if you recall. However, Burna Boy this morning has a lot to celebrate, and we could commend him, congratulate him on surpassing 600 million streams on Spotify.
Wow. And
that's a very, very good look.
Yeah, man.
All right, that's it at 6:35 a.m. That's it for
Update.
Back. Right now, it's time for the proverb
of the day.
That's right. Let's hear it.
All fire tick easy for catch.
Oh yes.
All fire tick easy for catch.
Okay then. In other words, it not take nothing for all fire tick catch.
So tick is stick, I suppose. I assume.
Fire stick.
Yeah, or fire tick.
Yeah, it's
easy.
fire tick.
Fire tick. Yeah.
The reference is to fire stick.
Okay.
So some people in the studio laugh like them. I say,
I don't know the meaning already.
Just don't call me name.
Oh,
all right. I guess they know the meaning, and I think many members of the Bridge Nation do as well. What it really means is old romances are easily rekindled. You don't think so?
No, sir. My
contrary to what many believe, Shelz doesn't believe that.
Nah, man, my tick wet. Nah. No fire catch, but nah, sir.
Cause the damage
Never
is already done.
Nah, sir. Rekindled. Nah, sir.
Oh gosh, can't be that bad.
New flame.
Cannot be. Yeah, I mean, yeah, new flame, yes, but I mean,
nah.
You're dropping a bucket on the water.
Yeah, man.
Never say never.
Nah, sir. So.
Yo.
That's right.
We'll have some speaks with him off here. All right, but contrary to what some might believe, the truth is, old fire tick easy for catch, and that means old romances are easily rekindled. That's the proverb of the day. But that is not your pet peeve.
No.
Let's get a pet peeve now.
Yeah, Bridge Nation. So pet peeves are things that others do that you may find annoying, irritating, or even upsetting. And my pet peeve this morning, here we go now. Motorists, and they're supposed to know the strips or that one you go, right? 2 lanes. 2 lanes, right? And the 2 cars in front of you, the 2 vehicles in front of you, drive at the same speed. Like 40, 50 miles per hour. Now I'm moving on. Now you just, they're right there, so just like, bruh, like, hello, one on can, I think that's isn't that a part of the rules of the road? Like, one on need for kind of go.
If you're in the outside lane, then you're expected to
that's
overtaking lane.
Hey, like, bro. Yeah,
were they having a conversation?
No, they don't know each other. Windows up.
That's the question.
Both of them just feel like the crews
they were
at the
having
scene.
a conversation.
That's even worse than them having a conversation. Then if you get locked up.
Yeah.
No, like that. Yeah, so that's a pet peeve. You know, you behind the two vehicles in front of you, and the two of them just decide not to move, and there's 2 lanes you have. Like, nah.
Can be annoying.
It can be. It is. I don't like it.
Can be very
I don't like it. I don't like it.
I only had an experience once where I went on the outside lane and then I realized that the vehicle that I'm beside was a police vehicle. So I'm on the highway now trying to determine what do I do here. Already going at a certain speed. Do I continue?
There were both
of us, they line up right beside each other.
See there?
So,
so
let's go.
You know what?
He pulled me over.
Oh,
really?
See there?
Yeah, he pulled me over.
Hey, you know one of the scary... Sorry.
He says, sir, when you get into the outside lane, you're expected to be overtaking.
Oh.
So, because I was trying to slow down a little bit now to pull in behind the officer.
Yeah.
Because I was already going at a fairly decent speed.
Okay. Nah, son, you know what's
I meant indecent.
you know, one of the scariest thing them still, I never know, sir, this is a fear. Like, sometimes you have police vehicles that drive slow, and you're just afraid if you overtake them. Like, what do I say, John, I can't, I don't know, should I?
I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't know. I
don't understand that.
Man, papers not up to date, man.
No, I don't know. Me don't want to overtake.
You know what?
No check.
I'm not go around,
that's a regular thing, you know.
Yeah, we don't know why.
You see a line of traffic, and you look at the head of the line,
Officer.
and there's a service
Nobody now
speak like that.
Nobody now, because the man, them papers are straight.
So what you tell me, say, everybody that the line papers.
No check. No.
That is the reality of the situation. You see it. Anyhow, thank you for the pet peeve, son. We have a very important guest. Today being International Women's Day, we're very pleased to have her and to highlight her as a woman in tech, doing some big things too. Her name is Tiffany Gray. She's a graduate of Townsend University's College of Business and Economics, where she successfully obtained her BS in Business Administration with a concentration in marketing and a minor in mass communication, which means, Shelz, if we had a little voice issues and so on, she could easily take over the program and rock this place until 10 o'clock this morning.
I believe it. Yeah.
And as the Corporate and Strategic Communications Manager at Lynk, Tiffany manages the relationship between the brand and the communities it serves, crafting key communication outputs to keep the public informed. We're very pleased to have her here with us this morning, as we said, as a woman in tech. And we say good morning and happy International Women's Day to you, Tiffany.
Good morning, and thanks for having me on.
All right, wonderful to have you. Tell us a bit more about yourself, if you will, and also your journey as a woman in tech.
I think it's crazy to call myself a woman in tech because I've been studying communications, I've been studying marketing. But before I started studying those things, I was actually doing like computer science. I even did it my first year of school, and I just didn't think I was the best at it.
Yes.
I thought I was the best at like writing, best at communications. So I went that direction. Fast forward to even before I joined Lynk, I was at the Digital Foundation and I'm managing a website. And now I'm at Lynk. I'm at a tech company. I'm at a fintech. And I'm again managing a website. I'm sitting in meetings about product development. And it's been a crazy circle. But what's great is I'm sitting in those rooms with these people who actually did the full computer science courses. Did the coding, did the robotics, did the whatever else it is.
Yes.
And I'm embraced as a communicator. So, they'll talk all the CS scripts and the HTML and whichever other coding language. And then they look to me and they say, so what's the communications aspect of this? What do we need to keep in mind? So I'm in a room with all these super smart experts, mathematicians, coders, and I'm just respected as a communications person, and my input as a communications expert, even though it's hard to call myself an expert as well, is feeding into the output of a tech company.
Do you find then within this industry that they promote the concept of equity, generally speaking?
I think everybody thinks of the tech industry as a boys' club. I think, if you're looking at, the Silicon Valley startups, you see a lot of men. But I think women have slowly transitioned in. One of the big game changers that has allowed women to transition into tech is actually the fact that most tech companies nowadays are remote working situations. So I remember growing up and watching women, and I always felt like women had to choose, run a home, start a family, or have a career. Even looking at some of the women who I look up to in my family, I saw them making those decisions. But tech is a game changer with remote work because you can kind of do it all. I mean, it's not easy. It's still not easy because you have to work, you have to be in meetings, you have to participate. But you're at home, that 1 hour to drive to work in the morning or 30 minutes and after work, which is, anywhere from an hour to 2-3 hours of your life just in traffic is now gone. So it's a game changer for women, and I'm fully embracing that.
Wow, enough respect. Now, Tiffany, moving forward in tech, as a woman, as you mentioned, can have its challenges, right? And you mentioned having persons to look up to. How important was that, as you took on the various challenges? You mentioned women in your family, for example. Was that a strong, how can I put this, like a strong factor that helped you to reach where you are in life right now?
Oh, for sure. When I talk about the choice, one of the things for my mom, so my mom is by and large a stay-at-home mom, but she also manages my dad's office. My dad is a dentist.
Okay.
But my mom was that mom who was always outside at school at 2:50 waiting for the bell to ring to pick you up. She was outside at 5 o'clock at the end of swim practice or extra lessons or whatever it is to pick you up.
Right.
So, that told me what kind of home life I wanted. Which I'm still working on, but that's fine.
Yeah.
But then I also had like great women. My godmother, her name is Joy Levi. She used to run Tower Isle Patties, which was the first patty company in New York to be in like the bodegas and the schools and everywhere.
Wow.
So even her, looking at her life and how she led her career is amazing. And then here in Jamaica, I have great inspiration. Very early on, I was able to meet Nasha Monique Douglas. She's the one who pushed me to take this job at Lynk. She said, Tiffany, this is what's going to be the next step in your career. Because I wasn't going to apply. I was like, tech company.
Tech, yeah.
I don't know, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I'll be smart enough. I don't know if I'll be fast enough. I don't know if I'll be good enough. And she said, you're all of those things. Go and do it. Her and Charmaine Daniels, who is the CEO of Digital Foundation, my then boss, they were both like, you have to do this.
Yes.
And then I get to Link, and I have two amazing women on the executive board.
That's right.
Erica Anderson and Denise Williams, who is my direct report. And they're amazing. Like, I'm watching them in a room with all of the guys, the tech guys, and they're just like, this is how we're going to do it. And then the guys just have to be like, okay, fine.
That's right.
Let's watch them work. but I'm glad you put the emphasis on those who have achieved within the industry. I'd like to flip the coin a little bit now to those who would like to achieve in this industry. Like, say, a young woman listening to us right now who may be contemplating a similar career as yours. What word of advice would you want to give them in terms of how they ought to start thinking towards this achieving this goal?
This isn't my advice. This is from my marketing manager, Nadia Nevins Jarrett. She said it yesterday to me. She said, young women just need to go for it. And I agree, set that vision that you have for yourself and don't let anything hold you back. A lot of people will tell you can't have it all. I'm not going to tell you can, but you should try.
Absolutely. That's powerful.
Let's go for it. And it's interesting, because a lot of, not just, I don't know, like I have a strong woman in my life, my mother, and she has her fears, but if there's one thing I just have to put it in this, because you just said it, that fear that women have when it comes to going for it. I never understood it, and I guess it's because of my gender, a lot of things just kind of seem a bit easier for us. But I thank you, Tiffany. I thank you for what you're pushing, and I would just hope you continue going forward. Is there any lasting impact you'd like to leave in your field as you go forward in life?
My lasting impact, I really want to promote other women. So I've had the privilege of managing large teams of women. When I was at the agency DRT Communications, 99% of my staff were women. Right now, I have a very small team under me. It's just 2 people, but they're all women. And I really want to support them. I want them to know that at the end of the day, what I want for them is for them to take my job and take the job above me and, continue on and further so that they can be successful and they can reach their dreams. I want them to have it all.
Yeah.
And before you go, Tiffany, I understand that you're very involved in volunteering.
I am.
What level of satisfaction do you get when you volunteer? And tell us a little bit about your volunteerism.
There's nothing quite like volunteering. Even, I was having a hard week of work maybe 2 weeks ago, and somebody called me and said, Tiffany, I know you're really busy, but we're doing Lift Up Downs. It's a concert to raise funds for Down syndrome on March 26th, and we really need some PR. We don't have much money. Can you help me? I said, I will do this for free because this is such a good cause. This is the funds that allows them to do all the programs that they do, the Jamaica Down Syndrome Foundation. So I said yes without hesitation, and it's that little joy, that hour that I get to put into even that from home. I do a lot of work with my friends. We started a charity called Acts of Grace, where we go and we do we have a set. We have a number of charitable activities that we do every year.
Okay.
And it just brings joy. It's that little bit of extra energy to get you through the week.
Yeah, wonderful. Can you share anything further on Lift Up Downs? What can you tell us about it if you care to?
Sure. So it's March 26th, and it will be held at the Ranny Williams. So if you're interested in getting tickets, you can check out Carib Tix, or you can visit the Jamaica Down Syndrome Foundation on Stanton Terrace, and you can purchase your tickets. They're accepting donations, so feel free to reach out. You can Google them, Jamaica Down Syndrome Foundation. And support because there's so little funds going towards special needs, and they need the money. It's a lot of cost that comes with Down syndrome. They have a lot of persons with Down syndrome have issues with their eyes. They have to do regular eye tests and stuff like that. So it can become very expensive. It's a concert. So Terry Carell Reid is the host. They'll have different performers. We have a lot of people who are volunteering to perform. There'll be some performances from the special needs organizations that are supporting. Lali will be giving us very special performance. So, if you want to come and get your dance on, obviously, that's the place to be on March 26th.
All right, Ranny Williams Entertainment Center. Tiffany, it was a really wonderful meeting you and talking with you, and I wish you all the best going forward.
Thank you.
And happy International Women's Day once again.
Yeah, man.
Have a great day. That's Tiffany Gray, ladies and gentlemen. And I did say, I wish her a great day.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. So, Miss Gray, go have a great day.
Bars. All right.
All right. This is a high-achieving author. I don't know if many of the listeners are familiar with the name, but we're talking about a lady who was the winner of Canada's top 100 black women to watch in 2022. She is an award-winning and best-selling Amazon author who hails from, guess where? Browns Hall in St. Catherine.
That easy.
Yeah, she's lived most of her life in Toronto, Canada, and she's known for her contagious, welcoming, devoted, inspirational, and compassionate spirit, not to mention her warm smile. There it is. There it is. And she brightens up every room that she walks in. I could go on and on. She has a book. What's the title of it, Shelz? Commitment to a deceitful liar.
I got it right here.
We need to get to that story. As we welcome Janelle Simpson. Good morning, Janelle.
Hi,
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Not too bad at all. Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
The script says your smile lights up every room, and we're seeing it for ourselves, right, Shelz?
Definitely.
Yeah, man. So nice. Congratulations on all your achievements.
Thank you.
Once we mentioned the title of your book earlier this morning, we as men started wondering about it, and sort of trying to get an idea as to what you're doing with this title in this book, Commitment to a Deceitful Liar. Give us an overview of this book. If
That book is number 1 to 3 series. So I have 3 books that I'm for that one under Commitment to a Deceitful Liar, Unknown Eyes, Lips of Truth.
Okay.
And then another one that I won't release the title of it yet.
Okay.
Committed to Deceitful Liar. It's interesting title. Everybody thinks it's about relationships or, you know, things like that, but it's really not.
It's not?
Not in that book. Second book, it dives deeper
Right.
into that.
Okay.
But that one talks about me being raised in Jamaica, migrating to Canada, being molested by a family member, and how culturally we deal with hearing that. It talks about being raised in a abusive household and not realizing this abusive household, and then carrying that abusive generation into my relationship and my life, and then passing it on onto my children and not realizing that I'm doing it because I didn't realize that it was a toxic cycle that I needed to break. Talks about various topics about breaking generational cycles with myths that we hear as a young child. Don't do this, don't do that, don't eat from this person, don't sleep at people's house. It breaks down a lot of things in the book. So it's a lot of things that we're committed to.
You are speaking your truths in this book.
Yes.
Were you concerned about how persons would react to your truths?
I was. And that's what took me a very long time to release the book, because it didn't take me long to write the book. Releasing it was what took time, because I knew how they reacted in the beginning. And now that I'm growing and I have my own children, I'm breaking away from certain things that my family members aren't. So I was afraid of how they would react to it. But
Wow. Now, Janelle, you know, as you mentioned a while ago, you shared, you know, that you've been through a lot.
yeah.
What were some of the challenges? And you mentioned a few. So what was it like getting through that? What was like the step-by-step process, you know, as it relates to getting through those challenges?
To healing or
Yeah.
to writing the book?
Healing first, because which one came first? It had to be healing or writing, or was writing the book a form of healing?
That was a form of healing, another form of healing that I needed. And I didn't know that I needed. I thought that I was good. Everything was fine in my life. Everything was going great. But I didn't realize that I was still. And I was still because I wasn't healed from certain things in my past.
Wow.
So writing the book was
Therapy?
bigger than therapy. Bigger than therapy.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you this, I've been to therapy before. I went to therapy for a week. And when I sat there and I said to the lady, I don't belong here. And she's like, what? And I said, I don't belong here. This is not where I need to be. Because I already went through my own therapy with God. Therapy, I really love therapists, and I think that everybody should go if they need to. But I just knew that that wasn't the right place for me. And
At the
God
time.
wanted me to do something else to get that healing that I needed. So healing was very hard. It was not easy. There were things that I was intentionally blocking out because I didn't want to have to face them. Then I realized healing came with talking to my mom and getting that closure
Yes.
that she didn't want to face. So that's another challenge that I'm still dealing with in my life.
Okay.
But in doing that, I'm a better mom to my daughter. And the relationship that we built is amazing.
So nice.
So healing was a challenge.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit of a struggle, even relationship-wise, forming my own relationship with my partner. It was hard, but it's a beautiful journey. I don't regret any stages that I went through.
You're at a much better place now.
Yeah.
You would say that, right?
Yeah.
So who would be interested in reading a book like this? I noticed that you write also both in English and in Patois.
Yeah.
Who do you think would be interested in a book like this?
Honestly, I think anybody would be interested in a book like
Yes.
that. Because I feel like everybody needs to be comfortable with talking about certain topics and understanding other people and how they move through life.
By the way, she's talking about Commitment to a Deceitful Liar. Yes.
So I think anybody would be interested in reading that book.
How well is it doing?
It's doing really well.
Yes.
Really well. I'm hoping to turn the book into a TV series. That's what I'm working on right now. So it's been doing well.
What is it that drove you to writing, though? Because there are many people who have stories, wonderful stories, but they're timid, they're reluctant to make that plunge. Were you encouraged, or did you find your own motivation to get started?
Honestly, I didn't have a choice. It was almost like God was forcing me to write the book, because there was so much happening that gave me signs that this is the time to write the book. You need to do it now. There's things that need to change now. You need to change the generational tone. and I see my children, and I was like, okay, I have to do this now for them, because when I leave this earth, they're going to have to carry on. I need to leave roots and seeds for our generation to be able to still nurture and, water them and use them in life. So that was my motivation.
Lovely. Now, Janelle, happy International Women's Day, first and foremost.
Thank you.
No, and so because it's such a big day for women, and given what you've been through and just you just thriving in success, do you have any advice for women, young girls, going through any type of struggle, no matter the level of struggle? Do you have any advice for them on such a day as today?
Don't allow anyone to box you in, and don't box yourself in. Meaning that your experiences have purpose. We go through everything in life for a reason. Doesn't matter what it is. It may feel uncomfortable, but allow yourself to go through the process and allow yourself to move to the next level. Because when you move to the next level, then you really get to see what God has for you. And don't stop. Don't stop because people think that you're not capable or you don't fit a certain category. Don't allow anybody to put you in one category. You're valuable and you're more than you know. And take the time to really embrace and understand what self-love is. So once you have self-love, nothing can stop you.
That is it.
Wonderful words, powerful words on International Women's Day. I'm going to quote from Janelle from page 130 in the book Commitment to a Deceitful Liar, where she says, "Our story and our journey were already written in stone. Nothing we go through in life is an accident or by chance, but God has a purpose for every step, a plan for every test, and a reason for every season. It may look like a mess, but trust God's guidance." You said those words. Powerful indeed. Where can persons get this book? Commitment to a Deceitful Liar. Sean, are you seeing it on the screen? Yeah? All right. Yes, there it is. There it is. All right. Where can persons get it?
Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Goodreads, on all the online platforms.
Yes.
You can get that book.
Hard copies available in stores or anything like that here?
Not yet.
Not
I'm
yet?
actually working to do that now.
Okay. And when that comes to fruition, please let us know so we can highlight it.
I will.
All right. You run away from the cold for a little bit, I guess.
I wish I could stay longer.
Enjoy your stay in Jamaica. Yes, go ahead.
Oh, Richie,
Yes.
there is another book here.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if I was drawn to it because of the colors and stuff. I'm a child at heart.
It looks rather youthful.
Yeah, I love this one. A Big Brother's Journey. Misunderstood. That's the title. Misunderstood. A Big Brother's Journey. Tell us a little bit about this one before you go, Janelle.
I wrote this one with my children being the co-authors.
Wow.
My children are both Leos, and watching their relationship and what they go through together really drove me to ask them, let's write a book together about. My son always wanted a sister, and when he got her, he was like, I don't want her no more. So I'm like,
no.
oh, you don't want her no more? He says, yeah, she's just annoying now.
Yeah.
Okay. So this book talks about basically every child wants a sibling. When you get, and you think, my son thought, okay, when I get a sibling, she's gonna do everything. She's gonna clean my room. I'm gonna boss her around. And he forgot all the responsibilities that comes with being a bigger brother and having a sibling.
Wow.
So this is actually a true story about my son and my daughter and their relationship, and it has sibling pledges in there at the back, and then at the very back, children can write their own sibling pledges to each other on what they will and will not do to each other, and remember to always act with love, and that you're two separate people and you go through emotions. So that remind my son, you were 8 at one point in your life too. You gave trouble, now it's her turn. So allow her to do it too.
Wow. And it's available on the same platforms as Commitment to a Deceitful Liar?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Nice.
You find great fulfillment in writing these books, don't you?
I love writing.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is obvious. I like what I'm seeing, and I encourage you, Bridge Nation, to get your hands on copies of these books. They make for great reading. Thank you so much for dropping by this morning, Janelle, and continued success on your life's journey.
Thank you for having me here.
Our pleasure. All right. There you have it. Award-winning and best-selling author, Amazon author, Writer of the book Commitment to a Deceitful Lie and a few others. Her name is, of course, Janelle Simpson. All right, we're here with you, and we're going on to 10 o'clock. Of course, it's International Women's Day. And as the world prepares to commemorate, and has now been commemorating this very important day, we have with us a lady who focuses on culture, gender, and social transformation, and is here to tell us more about the launch of the Elevate Her Summit this morning. And we have with us none other than from the People's National Party, Deputy Spokesperson on Culture, Gender and Social Transformation, Patricia Duncan Sutherland is our guest. Good morning, Pat.
Morning.
Good morning. It's great to be here this morning, and happy International Women's Day to everybody.
And to you, we say the very same.
Thank you, thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
How has your morning started so far?
Well, so very good, because
Yes.
I've been talking about this summit. I was at CVM this morning, and I'm now here on the Bridge 99 FM. Always glad to be here with you all.
And we're always happy to have you as well. The Elevate Her Summit, I need to hear more about this. It will be launched today?
We're launching it today.
Yes.
And we're launching it. It's a soft launch, but we want to get the word out there today. And the idea is that, you know, I was told, when I said it this morning, I went to church on Sunday. And in church, the pastor said, Naomi was an inspiration to Ruth.
Yes.
She was her encouragement, and she was her example. So, in any role that you play, that was his charge to us as leaders in this space. So in any role that we play, we have to be an example, and we have to encourage. So this summit is to be the example of how it is that we can all come together to solve a problem that Jamaica is facing. And the problem we're talking about is domestic violence and the sexual abuse of girls. We want to address that specifically. And we want to address it in a way that we can get some practical solutions, and with the people who are in the space, who understand the space, and in a way that you talk about social transformation that transforms our society. Not in a way that is punitive, not in a way that destroys, but in a way that allows everybody to have a healthy relationships with each other and value our women in a different kind of way.
Is this summit, are you hoping that it will attract persons from all sectors of our society and all political affiliations and so on?
All sectors.
All sectors.
And political affiliations.
Okay.
Right? So we're not going to be doing it under the banner of the PNP Women's Movement.
Okay.
But we are initiating, because somebody has to initiate. And we want it to be across, we have a bicameral caucus now in the Parliament for both houses and for women across the aisle, to work out how women can work together and amplify the voice of women in Parliament.
Active?
Just started, launched, encouraged by the UN and part of the launch. And so from our perspective, it's a great opportunity and a great time for us to say, all right, let's take this now, not just within Parliament, but outside of Parliament, and actively work together on something that cannot be politicized, because it really just is about how do we make our society safe for women and for our girls. The truth is 30% of our women suffer at the hands of domestic violence. That's 1/3 of our women have that experience in their life. That's a lot.
Yeah, man. So
it is.
So what kind of activities can we expect at the summit? Any guest speakers?
Guest speakers, but more of conversation, because it is really about how do we together design. So I'm fashioning this off of an experience I had. I was the project manager for Unite for Change. My first job in that was to have a summit to bring all the players together who were working to make Jamaica peaceful together in one space. So we had a summit with 1,000 people, different organizations, and it was also government and opposition at that time. At the time, the opposition was not as active. This time I want to make sure that both opposition and government are active together in this process. And so it's bringing together all of your NGOs, all of your, like right now we have in Jamaica an initiative called Spotlight Initiative that is being run through the government, funded by the UN, and it's about all different players in the space being funded and working in different communities. And it's also helping the police to be more sensitized to domestic violence. But now how do we amplify that and make it actually work even better and change the culture within our communities? Because the truth is,
we can't continue this way.
no.
That is,
And let me tell you, and people are reformable. My father used to beat my mother, you know. Yes, when they were much younger, because I grew up in an environment that's a man beat woman. Because men beat women because they are told that this is the right way. And so that's what them think is right. Now we have to transform that. He became enlightened. He asked for forgiveness, and she did forgive. And when she died, and they were good friends.
okay.
He was by her side.
Yeah.
So it is possible. I have another person
Reformation.
that worked with me that, him girlfriend stabbed him and him beat her up, etc. But through counseling, through conversation, they now have a positive relationship. Him said they never know you could have a relationship without lick each other.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
So you mentioned the NGOs. Are you going to have like survivors of the domestic violence? Anyone here from like the mental health sector?
Well, that's what
yes.
we want to have.
Who are
So
some of the participants?
The participants that we want to have in there, we want to have the survivors. We want to have some perpetrators as well who have been reformed and who went through a process of choosing no longer to do this. We want to have, as I say, guidance counselors, mental health workers. We want to have people who work with the CPFSA and who manage those homes. Because, the truth of the matter, sexual abuse is a problem for, in 2018, 1,000 girls in Jamaica get sexually abused. And that's what's reported. And most of it is not reported. Right? Because I was a victim of sexual abuse as a child. Mine was never reported. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Wow.
But as we create that space, so the other day when we had the issue with the sexual abuse in the children's home,
Yes.
it caused us to put the spotlight on it. And some women were brave enough to come out and said, this was my experience. And we had a really horrible story. So if they can, through their story, help us to work out what we can do differently in those children's homes, where it's supposed to be the real place of safety, then I think we can make something big happen.
Yeah. I like what I'm hearing, and I wish you real success with this, Pat, and all of your partners. We haven't yet mentioned the date when it's happening and where. What can you say on that? It's in April, I think, isn't it?
April 19th.
19th of April.
April 19th.
That's a Wednesday.
That's a Wednesday. And we're looking at doing it in Kingston, right?
Yes.
And we are hoping that we can should expect to be a full day event.
Okay.
Right. And we are looking, part of the reason why we're launching today, and without even giving too much details, is because we want all persons who are interested in being a part of this. So when we organize it, we are organizing it in a very inclusive way. Right?
Yes, but you did say it earlier that, I mean, from whatever political persuasion, you're all welcome to be a part of it and lend your voice and your support to an event like this.
And if whatever, not just political persuasion, but in any space that you operate, whether you experienced it or whether you have been helping people and you know what works and what does not work. Because the truth in this space of violence prevention and creating a safe society in Jamaica, we have a lot of people working in different pockets. Some things work in some environments, some things don't work. But I think we need to come together and have some agreement around that. And, STAR is doing some of that. Project STAR, I can't help but mention that, is doing some of that. But this is a specific one. This is focusing on women, domestic violence, and sexual abuse against women.
All right, we're talking with Pat Duncan Sutherland about the upcoming Elevate Her Summit, slated for the 19th of April. It's a Wednesday, and it will be happening here in Kingston. I suppose as you go along, persons will have to register
and sign up, and we will be
so
putting more out there. And so we are inviting today anybody who is interested to email us at elevateherSummitJA@gmail.com.
Okay.
ElevateherSummit JA@gmail.com. And as we build it out, we are going to, and hopefully we can talk some more with you as we're building out and as we're making progress, share the progress that we're making, so that we can build the interest and can have a really effective summit. And I'm doing all of this while I'm very, very busy because I'm down in Southeast St. Anne.
Working hard. Yes.
Congratulations.
Were you out demonstrating as well?
Today?
Because of the fact that the elections were.
No, I didn't actually join that demonstration, but my heart was there. Because the truth of the matter is, based on where we are at now, it's unfortunate that we don't yet have fixed election dates in Jamaica. I'm a proponent of fixed election dates.
You're calling for that?
I'm calling for that. I don't think everybody in my party agree exactly with me, but I am very clear. If we're going to have a real democracy, we must have fixed election dates, because then we don't get a chance to manipulate our people. And this is really a travesty of justice, that level of manipulation. But out on the road today are women in Hanover who are going out in black to make sure everybody remembers that we need to do something about domestic violence and sexual abuse of our girls.
Nice.
And one of our candidates down there are supporting them strongly. Her name is Heather Miller.
Okay.
She's a candidate for Western Hanover. You know, have to promote the women, you know, because women must lift up women, elevate her.
Yeah.
Yes. So, you know, pray for me. I'm there in Southeast St. Anne. I'm excited about being in Southeast St. Anne, and I think it's going to be a wonderful time. And I'm looking forward to when they call the election.
And you will be ready, right?
I will be ready.
That is it.
Before you go, I don't know if you've paid much attention or noted anything whatsoever from the presentation in Parliament yesterday as it relates to the Finance Minister's presentation. Anything, especially as you focus so much on women and gender and social transformation, anything at all that you think ought to have been done that or said that was not said, or anything that you even wish to congratulate them on? I don't know.
Well, I want to congratulate them on the student loan guarantor for the path. I know that Dayton had proposed it. Dayton Campbell had proposed it some years ago when he was a member of Parliament.
They don't have to provide a guarantor, right?
And they don't have to provide a guarantor. And at our conference, our party leader had also proposed that he didn't want to do it for anybody, that we should take away the idea of a guarantor because it negates the point of a student loan. You understand? So at least they've taken one step further. The part students don't have it. So congratulations on that. I want to point out, though, to Nigel, as Minister of Finance, the posture with the teachers, I'm very concerned about it. Government badness does not work. If you really want to work with people, you have to be at the table listening to them. And the majority of our teachers are single mothers. The majority of our teachers. So when they are here and you see all the teachers on the ground demonstrating because of pay, this is real for them. This is not some big number up there. So you have to sit down and you have to really get into it. And the fact that Ernst & Young said that teachers should be paid more than nurses. And when your offer is that teachers are being paid less than nurses, and you're comfortable with that, we need to, if we're going to value people, we're going to have to value education. And if we want better in our education, we have to pay our teachers.
Yeah. Definitely. The teachers and the police are, I think, the two main
very concerning too. And it's our two biggest problems. Education and crime.
Absolutely.
And we're not valuing the people who are putting themselves out there on the front line.
More needs to be done, and I hope they find the funds to do just that, to make them happier. Pat, great seeing you.
Great to be here.
Love the initiative.
Love
Take care, and all the very best. Happy International Women's Day, Patricia, Duncan, Sutherland.